All right, y'all. It is time to shine. It is time to shine. We thank all of those who are tuning in today for another very special edition of the RTJ Show vidcast and podcast series. We thank all of our wisdom listeners who are tracking in with us today for our episode this very day. If you are listening to us on the Wisdom app, or even on Clubhouse. We are also on all podcast platforms. You can search for the Run the Jewelz podcast and see some of our previous episodes that we've launched from season 1, you all the way now to season 4. And so we are already in our 4th season, locked and loaded and ready to go. But if this is your first time tuning in with us, the RTJ Lifestyle Show was created to spread inspiration to young professionals and millennial entrepreneurs who want to learn wisdom on how to shine brighter in their careers or their businesses. And so shout out to all of our millennials, our Gen Zers, and specifically our young professionals and entrepreneurs. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. Now, if you are interested in being a future guest on one of our season 4 episodes or just on one of our podcast episodes, if you are a dynamic king or queen that has an awesome dynamic testimony, or if you are a business owner or a young professional that is killing it in your industry, click the link that I'm putting in the comment section right below and fill out the interest form, and our team will see if you align with our mission and our vision for the RTJ podcast, and we'll reach back out to you if you have what it takes. And so we appreciate all of our VIP jewels that have come on the show and basically blessed us this season with our episodes for season 4. We could not have made this show a success without you. And again, I'm King Jules, Julian Smart Rimple. I'm the host of the RTJ Show. We are really excited for all of you listeners who are considered now smart jewels that are listening or following us. We appreciate y'all, but we are ready to go for our episode today. We are talking about what are the benefits of cleansing and fasting. You all know, who have been tracking with us any bit of time, that we focus on 3 core areas: personal development, financial freedom, and health and wellness. And so we will be touching on the health and wellness space today with one of my very special VIP guests. She goes by the name of Keya, the Alkaline Traveler. I came across this queen's IG page literally a week ago and wanted to reach out to her because she does the full cleansing and also purification process holistically, and also with the alkaline treatment, as I like to call it. And so whether you are a vegan, or if you're thinking about going vegan, or if you're plant-based, or if you're thinking about going plant-based, this is the spot, and this is the podcast episode to tune into. Like and share this podcast episode with anyone you know that can benefit from a holistic healing, because that's what it's all about, is healing the full body and also the mind and the soul, and cleansing the mind, body, and soul. And so you're going to be in for a treat today with my very special guest, Keya, the Alkaline Traveler. And so I'm going to let her introduce herself to you all so she can bless us with the jewels for today's episode. And so, Keya, how are you doing today?
Peace. I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. We thank you and appreciate you, Queen, for coming on and sharing your jewels of wisdom with us today. We always start off the show by allowing our VIP guests to tell us where are you tuning in from today, Keya, where are you originally from, and then also why is this an important subject for you to talk to us about today?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for the space. I'm very, very grateful for this moment and you reaching out. It was great. They was just talking about just wanting to spread the message a little bit more. So you reached out at the perfect time. So thank you for that. Right now, I'm currently in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm from originally Detroit, but my residency's in Dallas. I kind of move around everywhere. I just got to Atlanta here probably about a month ago. I came from St. Augustine, just kind of traveling the last 7 months. And I am really excited to talk about this topic just because this is what I eat, live, and breathe every single day. I'm on a cleanse right now. I'm on day 20. 27, I believe. No, I'm on day 28 of fasting. I haven't eaten anything, only been drinking fruit juices, taking my herbs and my water. So I'm really excited to kind of break down exactly why I'm on this journey, but in addition, how it's helped me and what I'm feeling like and how I can kind of benefit other people by doing this journey as well. Not always just about fasting, but just to be able to reconnect with self and to fall in love with self again through cleansing and whatnot.
I love it. I love it. And shout out to the D too, Keya. I know a lot of my good friends are from Saginaw and also from Detroit. So big up to Detroit. For those who are just tuning in, you just heard the introduction from my very special guest, Keya, the alkaline traveler, who's going to be talking to us about what are the benefits of cleansing and fasting. Wisdom listeners, if you have any questions for Keya at any time of today's episode, feel free to come onto the stage and ask any questions you have on the subject at hand. But Keya, like, talk to us to start us from the beginning. How did you get into wanting to learn about cleansing and also fasting, and who got you in? Did you have a family member, a master teacher bring you in? How did you get involved with this process?
Yeah, so funny thing is actually I'm a part of healers in my family, and I didn't know that until probably a few months ago. But when I first had started, it was years and years ago, so probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I was just getting really, really sick all the time. Like, I didn't know what was going on. It was random. Like, I'd be at work, middle of the day, not even lunch or like after lunch, and I would just get sick all of a sudden. I couldn't stand up anymore. So I was working at a holistic doctor at the time as a medical assistant, and we had these allergy tests that you could do a blood scan, and it would pretty much test the lining of your stomach to see whether or not you're able to properly digest specific foods, groups, and whatnot. Well, come to find out, I wasn't able to digest or absorb any type of meat products whatsoever. And I was like, oh, okay, that's why I don't feel well all the time. So from there, I just kind of started thinking about holistic healing, just because I was in a holistic practice and it was a little bit more eye-opening. The Western medicine, they teach you kind of, once there's a symptom, you can treat the symptom, but not the actual source. So seeing holistic and it being able to prevent and then also help for people that had chronic illnesses and diseases and things like that was like amazing to me. So I was like, let me go pescatarian to see if I like it. Within a week, my energy was back. I wasn't feeling sick. Like, it was like crazy how much of a difference just by taking meat out of my diet was. So I had told myself there, like, I was like, okay, I'm eventually going to be vegan. I just don't know when I'm going to transition. So not last year, but the year before last, so 2020, about halfway through the pandemic, something just didn't sit well. And I was like, I think I need to change everything about what's going on, just because this is the time for transformation. So I just went on a 3-day fast on just nothing but water, and went straight into vegan. Had no idea about nutrition or anything like that. So in the process, I was really a junk food vegan for quite some time. But then by the time January hit, I started my very, very first detox cleanse. Went into duck flour, which I'll go over probably later. I did a duck flour, which took me about 6 hours to cleanse my body, and then went straight into a water liquid fast. And I only made it probably about 5 days because my body was just so depleted from the food that I ate prior to it, and then also just doing a duck flour itself. It depleted me of all of my stuff, so I was just like, I was struggling. And then I did a 21-day all raw food diet, and that went really well. And throughout that entire year, so last year was just me really getting used to being in the alkaline lifestyle, I should say. So I was cleansing a lot, detoxing a lot, learning about the body, just kind of figuring out what best fits me. Not everybody's cleanses work for everybody, so I had to kind of figure out what my body sits well with and how it responds. So I've been at this for probably about 7 years, knowing that I was going to be vegan, but for the most part, I really kind of took that leap about a year and a half ago during 2020, just wanting to change everything. And it's changed everything. I mean, financially, it's changed things for me. Spiritually, relationships that I have with my family and friends have changed. Just everything all around, I can say, has been such a true blessing since I've transitioned. But that's really where I started, just trying to feel better and trying to make sure that I don't get to the worst point possible where there's no coming back from it.
I love that. I love that, especially when it comes to, like you said, you invested in your health and also invested in your wellness. I forgot to mention too, Keya, I'm alkaline vegan, and I literally got into it based off of course, Dr. Sebi's methods and also his practices. And so that's how I got brought in. And then my family is from the Caribbean by way of Trinidad and Tobago. And so literally, and just finding those people that look like us or are people of color, people of the sun. I didn't know that a lot of individuals are actually vegan or plant-based, because we see it all the time in our families. I'm sure you saw it growing up being in Detroit, that it's a lot of meat that's pushed in our communities, especially those of color. And so that is something that led me to even want to really take a full deep dive into a plant-based lifestyle. And I've been plant-based for the last 10 years and I love it. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so I know we definitely want to hear more about how you specifically were able to see the benefits of cleansing and also from fasting when you first started doing it, with specifics of your health and what changes you saw. But let's go ahead and honor our VIP sponsor so we can get our sponsor highlight out the way. And so each and every episode, we do highlight a VIP sponsor that sponsors our episodes for each season episode. And so let's take a look and see who our VIP sponsor is for today real quick. Let's take a look. So again, shout out to our VIP sponsor for today, which comes from none other than Delta Community Credit Union. We definitely want to highlight Delta Community Credit Union for, actually, our sponsorship for today, is Orgain Organic Protein. Shout out to Orgain Organic Protein. You can see the link below to purchase some of their products and receive discounts with code SMART, SMART, JEWELZ. And so you can use the discount code SMART, SMART, JEWELZ to receive a free 30% off coupon. They do plant-based and pea protein for those who are either vegan, vegetarian, or alkaline vegan. Feel free to see if you do not already know about Orgain Organic Protein just by using the discount link or the discount code SMART, SMART, JEWELZ. So shout out to Orgain Organic Protein. But back to you, Keya. We definitely wanted to learn how were some of the benefits of literally your skin. Did you have the glow up with not having any skin irritation? How was your liver, your kidney? Like, talk to us about some of the internal benefits that you saw right when you started going into cleansing and even eating clean.
Yeah, so my first cleanse, or I should say my first fast. So my first fast was just water. Didn't know anything about herbs just yet. I'm a naturally energetic person, so the increase of energy was a positive, but it was a bit much for most people around me because I was just kind of like excited about everything. Um, my skin, for the most part, I have eczema, so that actually cleared up a lot more. Was a less irritation on my skin due to the fact that I wasn't eating, nor was I around the things that were creating my lymphatic system to kind of like release itself. So that was a nice cleanup. Generally, I fast for digestive reasons, just because I've always had a my body has never really had a normal digestive tract, or I should say just flow naturally. So when I fast, usually it's for that reason, to be able to flush everything out. And that's a beautiful thing to do, just because you don't understand how much is backed up within the gut until you start cleansing. Like, it's mind blowing. But for the most part, when I start fasting or when I'm cleansing, it's really just to reset my body. So right now I'm on a complete reset. It takes 6 weeks for your liver to repair itself. It takes almost about 365 days for your skin fully to repair itself. But everything else within the body, just to be able to get the circulatory system working and moving the way it's supposed to, in terms and also the lymphatic system, repairing the pancreas and your adrenals, it all takes less than 12 weeks. So I'm on the journey of just kind of resetting completely within the first my 12 weeks itself, and then continuing this journey. But for anybody that is looking to cleanse and fast, I always recommend starting off with going in maybe about 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, and then waking up and breaking your fast with fruit, just so it's a little bit easier subconsciously and consciously, that you're not technically doing it for long periods of time, but you're getting your body used to it. And with that, you experience so many different things, such as you're able to wake up and you're feeling rejuvenated, because now your body's at complete rest. It's not digesting food while you're sleeping. So you're able to kind of wake up with, all right, I'm ready to get the day started. And then when you rise, it's a lot easier for you to kind of pass that first bowel movement once you have that first meal, because now your digestive system is at its like awake stage, and it's just kind of easier to flow. In addition to that, being able to have a little bit more of a clear mind. A lot of us are so stressed with work and what we have to do, and so many different tasks, because we're task-oriented individuals. Being able to fast clears up that mental, that thought process, just because now your body's at complete rest. And now you're able to focus on what really needs to happen, and you're a little bit more logical on the process in which it gets taken. In addition, I find I do a lot of sun gazing, and I'm just out in nature, grounding, things like that, and that just helps me connect to myself a lot more. So I would say, for the most part, when it comes down to cleansing and fasting, it's really the things that we don't see. And when I cleanse, I find myself really cleansing old traumas and wounds, and healing from my inner child, more than anything else, because I realize how much I associate my attachments with food, how much I associate my attachments with what we do when we eat food, whether that be watching TV, watching a movie, going out on a date, meeting up with friends, things like that. And it's just so mind-opening. Or it's mind-blowing that when you're fasting, it's like you're able to really take that time to focus on the person that you're right in front of or right next to, rather than focusing on like, wait, why did the waiter not bring my food, right? Why did they not bring me anything to eat while I'm waiting on my food? And you're not as irritable, right? Like it's a lot easier to kind of flow throughout the day. I know usually when I speak to my clients about it, they are kind of in a hesitation due to going to work and having specific times of eating, right? So our body is naturally ready to eat, and it's almost like muscle memory. Those are a bit challenging, but at that time is the perfect way because now you get to see like, all right, so what am I associating for this time or this food? Am I really hungry, or is it my ego, or maybe something that I just kind of want, right? It's not a need, but a want for comfort, maybe for attention, whatever it may be. But uh, when it comes down to healing, I think that it's the perfect start, just to start a couple hours at a time. Just to kind of see the true benefits of how your body is starting to transition into something that it's not used to. You start to get to know your body a lot more as well. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I know even with that too, you were dropping a ton of jewels right there, Queen, when it comes to literally the internal healing that you were able to see in a short amount of time, and even breaking it down for those who are serious about fully healing themselves and fully being able to see the results and going through the process. Like tell people, Keya, like what type of fast are there, and also even what type of fast can you recommend for someone who may be like a newbie into fasting and have not done it with the church or with the community group,
Yeah.
or any of that case? Like talk to us about the breakdown of how long should general fast be, and how long even for beginners should they fast.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a ton of different fasts. I tell people like abstaining from sex is a type of fast, right? It's really the intention that you put behind it. So it's depending on what you're trying to gain, whether that be health, whether that be mental clarity, whether that be self-development, whether that be finding self. It just depends on where you're at in that stage and what you're wanting to move forward with. If it's more so for health reasons, I tell everyone to start off with, like I said, really just fasting overnight and waiting until about 10 o'clock to actually eat in the rising, and just focusing on liquids, and then to be able to increase every few days. And then when you're in, let me kind of back up. So increasing every few days, I mean like instead of eating at 10 tomorrow, eat at 11 or maybe 10:30, right? Kind of keep pushing it back so you can get to that full 24 hours and really experience what it feels like to be under kind of like a reset. I do like to recommend juicing. So 100% fruit juice. I juice all my stuff. For the most part, I use a blender and then I strain it because I don't like juicers because there's too many parts to it and I don't like washing things. But I do recommend juicing because it gives you all of the nutrients that your body actually needs throughout this entire fast. And then on top of it, you don't feel so drained. So a lot of people that drink water throughout their fast, they may feel drained, they might feel tired, things like that. Generally, it's because there's not enough nutrients within the water, or they didn't properly prepare for that fast. So if it's health reasons, I would definitely say kind of start off from like 7 p.m. to 10 a.m. And then increase about 30 minutes to an hour per day. And then if you kind of want to do something where it's more so connecting with self, I would definitely say to start with 24 hours. So a full day of no eating and being mindful of when you felt like you had the urge to eat, why you wanted to eat, what were you feeling like, how did your body feel mentally, what were you thinking, and kind of go into that so you can kind of position yourself in a more beneficial way, right? So if we're constantly thinking about food, but yet we don't kind of want to think about when we want to eat the food or why we want to eat the food, it's hard for us to continue to get more days on our fasting schedule due to just not wanting to really tap into the actual work that's needing to be done.
Yeah, that's major right there, Queen. And like I know you and I, we of course know what consists of an alkaline diet, but for those individuals who may not be in the plant-based space, or even the vegan space, like can you tell people like what foods consist of an alkaline diet or an alkaline regimen, and also like what foods do you even recommend people who may be trying to just switch, not all the way go full fledged, but are trying to make the switch, what food should they be looking for?
Yeah, so the alkaline, so I'm alkaline lifestyle, but this is how I break it down just so I can kind of transition it into the actual food that I eat or the specific type of food groups. Alkaline lifestyle, in my opinion, is really all about um, teaching yourself how to get to know yourself, right? So it's about being able to heal from anything that they say that you're not able to by just natural, ancient grains, ancient foods. So fruits, vegetables, grains, seasonings is what I'm trying to say. Seasonings, herbs, things like that. So when I talk about the alkaline lifestyle or just the alkaline nutritional guide, we're talking about things that are seeded, right? That are not hybrids, or no GMOs, they're all organic. Why do we talk about that? It's because since we are the children of the sun, we are the creators of this world, we need to be feasting on natural foods that are being cooked by the sun, right? We want all of that charge. We want all of that, the messages that the sun is giving to the plants for us to be able to ingest. We want to have an electric current or frequency running through our body when we're eating. So when we're eating and we feel lethargic or we feel fatigued or anything like that, it's due to the fact that, one, we could have overate and our body's not able to break it down like it's supposed to, or two, our body is now eating something that's electrical and it's now being able to send those currents throughout the whole body, and now we're electrified and we're just vibrant and we're vibing high, right? So a lot of people are like, I don't like when people say, like, high vibrations or maybe grand rising, things like that, but everything is a frequency. So when we're eating foods, we want to make sure that we're tapping into the frequency that we want to exude outside of us as well. So the nutritional guide kind of breaks down seeded fruits such as bananas. They're actually burro bananas, which is the traditional banana. They actually have seeds inside them. Possibly even ancient grains. Talk about that, like spelt flour. It is the whole natural wheat grain, so it is a gluten grain, but it's something that we use because it's an ancient grain. Like, there's no type of bleach, there's no type of preservatives, artificial flavors, additives, anything like that. Kamut, amaranth, phono. These are additional grains to substitute your grits or to substitute cream of wheat. Maybe oats, you can substitute those as well. Kale, we have it on there, but that's kind of last resort, just because it is a part of the hybrid of the cabbage family, but it is the only, I believe it's the only portion of that cabbage family that isn't so deeply rooted into the splicing and the genetically modified. So we're able to do kale just because it's not as spliced as everything else. We do romaine lettuce. Let's see, mangoes are on there. We do pomegranates. Grapes, seeded grapes are my favorite right now. My 30 days have been amazing. It's hard to find them, but they're really good. But really, just the alkaline lifestyle and the food that comes with it just happens to be just from nature itself. A lot of times you're not going to find it in Walmart or Target because they're going to give you things that they can make the most money on, which happens to be the hybrids and GMOs. No big deal, but that gives us such a beautiful opportunity to really express our gratitude to the local farmers and be able to go to farmers markets and just connect with them and understand how our food is being grown, and to connect with our food even on a deeper level than just going to purchase it to consume it. Now we're taking it from seed all the way to the consumption, and that's a beautiful process in itself. But that's really how I break it down for the most part. I don't believe it's limiting. I think it's more so of relearning a lot of things that we have to unlearn to really understand where we truly come from. We are people, like I said, we're people of the sun, but at the same time, we didn't start off eating meat. We started off eating from just what the earth was able to provide us. And I think that's just a beautiful thing to be able to connect in that level.
Yeah, now you make a great point right there with those jewels, too, Queen. When it really refers to unlearning what we have been taught growing up, and then relearning what really we should be intaking into our body as being basically individuals that want to have a long and also prosperous life versus We see nowadays there are individuals having more broke down bodies in their 20s and 30s, not even in their 60s and up. Like many of our parents' generations of baby boomers on up, but literally, I've seen millennials and Gen Zers bodies who are being broken down even pre the pandemic based off of their diet and their lifestyle choices that they're making. And so, like, talk to us about Keya. You talked about going into nature, and we always promote Mother Nature a lot on our show in getting outdoors. Like, why is it important for individuals when they're either cleansing or fasting to not just be inside all day or to not be out in the sun, like you said, sunbathing? Like, why is it important to also be in touch with nature when you are cleansing and fasting? What's your opinion on
Yes,
that?
yes. Okay, so I love this question. Nature is where we come from. So since it's where we come from, we have to make sure that we're greeting it and such, right? Appreciating it, showing gratitude, but also connecting with it. To really truly cleanse the body itself, one, we need to sweat. What
Mm,
makes us sweat is being outside in the sun. Okay, that's just an automatic. But on top of it, it's like grounding. Grounding takes all of that negative, and I don't like saying negative because it's duality. It's not really negative and positive. So let me put it this way. When you're grounding with your bare feet in grass, it's being able to take all of that energy that's not good, right, within ourselves. Let's say maybe the attitude that we had, maybe just the mood, or maybe some things, maybe some of our organs, like maybe our liver's not doing well, right? So some of those electrons, those negative electrons, send that out, right? And then now the grass that has been charged by the sun is now being able to charge us. Our energy sources are our palms, it's our skin, but mainly our palms and our feet. So being able to express just the touch of grass, or maybe putting our hands to the sun, is being able to absorb all of that DNA, absorb all the messages, absorb all of the information and the nutrients from the sun, and then also from the grass as well. Nature is here to provide everything. If we're getting oxygen from nature, why are we not getting more stuff from nature, right? So when we're cleansing, I tell everybody it's really important to tap into your roots, which is to be deeply rooted into the soil through your feet, just completely bare feet in this. It can be sand, dirt, grass, really doesn't matter. And to express that gratitude with the sun. It helps with opening up the pineal gland, which is a beautiful way to connect with your ancestors, in addition to getting answers that you need, right? So a lot of people, when they're cleansing, they're trying to find other answers outside of, like, hey, I want to heal from this, right? But when you want to tap into ancestral or generational curses, or let's say self-love, being able to be out in nature where you came from, it's like little whispers. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like, kind of like, people think that you're crazy, but they just talk to you. They express gratitude. Like, I talk to the trees all the time and they answer me. So I'll be like, people think I'm crazy, but for real, they do. I was outside with my family, and they were waving, and I waved back, and I told them that I loved them, and then all, like, the wind got really, really crazy, and I was like, wow. And my whole family, we were outside barefoot with our hands in the sky, just kind of expressing what our intentions were to be outside. Like, we give this moment to share this with you, X, Y, and Z. When we came in, we felt a little drained, but just think of, like, when you charge your phone and it's at its max, usually it gets a bit hot just because of all that charging, but then it's fine. It cools down after a while because it was able to kind of sink and receive what was given to it. So that's what we're outside doing, is receiving what is given. When we're in buildings, we forget that outside is what we need. We don't have fresh air enough. Maybe the ventilation isn't the best. So being able to go outside and have that fresh air and to take that time, it's able to reset, right? So you're able to recharge from being inside. Also, it helps with your sleeping patterns as well. The body doesn't know if it's daylight or if it's nighttime. You have to go outside and let it know that. Just like if you can't see outside, you don't know if it's, like, getting dark outside. No clock or anything. Like, when I'm working in the restaurant, I can't tell what time it is because I don't have my phone on me all day long, but there's no window, so I can't tell you. My body doesn't tell you either. Now, if I'm outside, or maybe I have more access to light, my body will tell me it's time to lay down by about 8:47, because that's when it starts to get dark. Because my body is already on that circadian rhythm of, hey, the sun's going down, it's time for you to wind down and for you to go to bed. Now, when you don't have that and you're around false light all the time, you tend to stay up longer, scroll on Instagram, maybe TikTok, and then all of a sudden it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're laying in bed like, I have to wake up in 2 hours. So it throws you off when you're not connected in that way either. And then it also brings a lot of mental stress to you as well, a lot of anxiety, sometimes depression, moods in which you just don't want to be around anybody just because you don't have enough of that charge. So I've always found that if I'm low in energy, I go outside for about 10 minutes and I'm ready to go. But I do definitely highly recommend anybody to go outside for as long as possible. Yesterday I went to an event. Lifewave had an event up the street, and literally the event was, I just want us to stay out here as long as we possibly can to connect to the sun and get as much nutrients that we possibly can. And I loved it. I was like, yes, please, all day. It's hot. But yeah.
Yeah, no, you're talking good right there, Queen. I know when it comes to, I saw that you are, of course, of native descent too, and people who are, of course, African descendants. They're more in tune with nature that I've come across, especially for whether it's the Caribbean, whether it's South or Central America, whether it's over in the motherland, even in Asia. Like, it's not looked crazy upon, like you said, to go out and talk to their plants, to talk to the produce, to talk to nature that they are literally surrounded by each and every day, whether it's even where you're growing your produce and talking to your plants to make sure that they are growing prosperously and growing generously versus dying on you. And so, like, before we get ready to let you get out of here, talk to us about, like, why do you feel, just from your perspective, more people of, let's say, native descent or African descent are very in tune with nature, but that some of the people, of course, in the U.S. on the western side of the world may not be able to tap in as much as those who may be on the eastern side of the world, based off of the origins, like you said, with the culture, with the ancestors, knowing how to navigate the land, and also knowing how to grow their own
Hello?
produce and their own seeds that are of native or African descent. Like, how are they more? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you like cut out at the like.
Was I going out? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh no, it's all good. No, yeah, I was just asking, what are your thoughts on, like, people who are of native and African descent, like having more touch points or even being more in tune with nature versus people who may be from other ethnic groups or other cultures? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
So I've done a lot of research on as to why it's like that, and I find it so interesting because since we are, in my, this is how I look at life. I believe that melanated or sun beings, I should say, are the creators of the world. Why do I say that? Is because, I mean, the day doesn't start unless the sun comes up, and like, since we're the kids of it, I'm like, this just makes sense. But I've noticed that now. My dad's white, my mom's black, and on my spiritual journey, connecting with my ancestors, I've noticed and found out there are a couple people that it takes me a little bit longer for me to tap into my ancestral genes, just because I have a mixture of two different ethnicities, I guess you would call them. So it takes me a bit more, like 90 days of fasting. I have to go through 90 days of fasting and putting in that work, like hyper focused, in order for me to really show that I'm actually willing to do the work once I get to able to connect to my ancestors. I find it so beautiful how much we are connected. and how much history comes with it. I think that's my biggest thing, because regardless of what area that we're at, we all share the same um, source of creation, right? We all share very similar viewpoints as well. Even though we grew up in different areas, we all really can kind of connect to each other regardless of wherever we are. Um, Growing up, I spent more time with my dad's side of the family than I did with my mom's side, so I didn't really get the full background knowledge in where we came from. And I was always so intrigued, but I never was able to get the information because I didn't have that access to it. So when I got older, I went to an HBCU. That was the best experience I can say that I ever had, because I was able to connect with my people on such a deeper level, and to be able to see what types of uh, walks of life we come from. Like, there's so many different ways in which we connect, but it all dates back to nature. We're constantly outside playing basketball, football, any type of sports, maybe even card games for reunions, like we're outside. A lot of times they don't really showcase how much we are outside. I mean, you can go anywhere, let's say just a black neighborhood. We're usually outside talking to our people, just vibing and chilling with our the love of our lives, which is just the reflections of ourselves. And I think it's amazing. Now, on the other side, my dad's side of the family, they're similar like that, but a lot of times, a lot of it's in banquet halls, a lot of it's in the house, a lot of it's, enclosed in certain places, and they don't really want to be outside because it's too hot. And I'm just like, thought this would be the opposite. But it just goes to show like how much stuff just kind of flows. Yesterday, like I said, when I was out at the event, butterflies everywhere, just because it was just beautiful spirits and people just being, not worried about time, not worried about any type of obligations or priorities, just being and wanting to connect with somebody at a deeper general level. So with that, it's like such a beautiful, I love where I'm at right now because I get to experience this stuff. I get to see the things that I didn't see as a kid. So low key, I'm like kind of tapping into my inner child and healing her as well, to show her that the girl that I was when I was a kid, there are people that were like me, like that, just not right next to me. So it's interesting. And then we have so many different ways to be able to connect. Like you have Kemet first, you have Hoodoo, you have Hindu, you have yoga practices, and some of the yoga practices are are all started back with the Nubians, right? Or I guess we should say the creators. I don't like to call them Egyptians because I don't really feel it. That's what they're called. But yeah, I don't know. I think that the more you cleanse, the more you get tapped in. So the more you start to see, which was already there, but now it's like, okay, you're not crazy. That's just, people just don't see it that way because they're just not there mentally.
Right. Now you right on par with that, Queen. You dropping a ton of jewels and literally taking it back to the source when it comes to really knowing how to holistically heal the body. There are certain cultures and certain ethnic groups that are able to do it magnificently, while others are not able to do anything really when it comes to healing the body naturally because of lifestyle choices or the DNA pool. And so we've reached the final jewels for today's segment. Keya, we know you got to go. And so we talked about a lot. We talked about how you got into cleansing. We talked about the importance of fasting. We talked about how you suggest individuals start fasting if they just want to get started today. What would be a final jewel of wisdom, Keya, that you want to leave with the audience when it comes to cleansing and how to get started fasting?
Yeah, I would just say, just take your time and be patient. Don't rush anything. I know that we're in a time frame where everything is instant gratification, so we can take let's say a Tylenol and our headache goes away within 5 to 30 minutes. But I want you to understand that when it comes to your healing journey, depending on how old you are right now and how long you have been suffering with anything, whether that be mentally, physically, emotionally, anything, it's going to take some time for the healing part. So just be patient and be graceful for yourself as well. Like if you want to do 24 hours and you made it 11 hours, celebrate the 11 hours, because some people can't go a few hours without eating or, abstaining from something. So I really just love to tell people just to be patient and to take that time to really fall in love with themselves, more than anything else, because that's the biggest challenge. We'll do anything for anybody, but when it comes to us, we feel like that we can wait. And by the time we wait is usually the time when it's too late. So all I say is just take your time and just learn yourself, learn to love yourself, and everything will just fall in line.
I love that. I love that, Queen. And definitely, I forgot to ask, what HBCU did you go to?
I went to Savannah State.
Okay, shout out to Savannah. I went to Hampton and then graduated at a
Shout out to
PWI. Yeah, at a PWI here in Georgia, Kennesaw State. But shout out to all the HBCU alumni. But how can people stay in touch with you, Keya, if they want to follow up with your business, your cleanses, your community? How can they stay in touch with you, though?
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on Instagram, The Alkaline Traveler. I do have a webinar to take you through a 3 to 5 day juice fast with me on the 28th of this month. So if you're interested, you can just click the link in my bio and just press cleanse with me. Just a short little form, pretty much just asking you if you're what you're grateful for, and just to say peace to everybody, what you're looking forward to in terms of your intentions. But you can follow me on Instagram. I haven't expanded just because I'm trying to take one platform at a time. That's the best way to get a hold of me, and then I can let you guys know when I get my YouTube up and running.
I love it. I love it. And for those who are listening or catching us on the replay, definitely go and support Keya at The Alkaline, ALKALINE Traveler, The Alkaline Traveler on IG and on social. And like you heard her say, she definitely has community fast and also group fast and cleanses that she's going to be offering to her followers and her subscribers. So make sure y'all go out and support Keya on her wellness journey, and also potentially in motivating and inspiring you to get on your own wellness journey. And so, Keya, we're going to say a quick prayer over you, Queen, and let you enjoy the rest of your day. We know you're at work, and we thank you for taking time to rock with us for today's episode. And we know we got to bring you back for part 2 to come and share some more wellness jewels based off of your schedule with us. But before we say a special blessing over Keya, if you've been blessed by today's episode in any way, shape, or form, feel free to sow a seed with us. We are literally having all the names at the bottom of the screen as our sponsors and donors and affiliate partners for season 4, which we could not make this show a success without you, with the platforms that we use, the equipment that we use for our podcast to be broadcast internationally. And so feel free to sow a seed. 2 ways to give. You can cash app us at $ SMART, SMART, JEWELZ, or you can click the link that we're putting in the comment section right now to partner with us either via Patreon, or if you're on Facebook, you could also sow into our Facebook star goals that we have for our live stream episodes. And so, Keya, I'm going to say a quick prayer over you, Queen, and allow you to enjoy the rest of your day. All right, Father, I just want to thank you for Keya. I thank you for allowing her the opportunity to have us connect and to have her share her jewels of wisdom in the health and the wellness space, of how you healed her, and how you're continuing to heal her. And so she can spread her message of healing to others. We thank you for her generations of healers that came before her, that are leading her and showing her the way, and that she is spreading life and also love and education to people of the sun, and also communities of color, so that we can naturally heal internally, so that we can see the fruit externally in our families and also in our lives. And so we thank you for her journey, her message, her businesses. May you bless it 100-fold this season with new connections, new doors, and new opportunities that are being opened to her for sharing her voice, and also for being passionate about her purpose. We love you, Father. I praise you, and I give you all the glory and honor. And it's in Yahshua HaMashiach, the Christ's name, I pray. Amen. We thank you, Keya, for coming on for today's episode, Queen. Definitely go out and support Keya at the Alkaline Traveler on all of the social media handles. And Keya, we'll definitely have to have you come back for a part 2 to run some more jewels based off of your schedule, Queen. But thank you so much for coming on, and you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much for having me. Peace, y'all.
All right, peace. Have a great day too. Thank you so much again.
Peace.
All right, y'all. We have just finished our recent episode today with Keya, the Alkaline Traveler. You were able to get a ton of jewels that she was dropping. I'm just going to give some quick jewels for thought. Shout out again to all of those who are eating clean and that are trying to transition into being either plant-based, vegan, vegetarian, or even alkaline. I'm even looking to take my my process to another level in cleansing, and so I know I'm going to be reaching out to even Keya and others who are juicers and who are cleansers with the juice mode, as I like to call it. And so, if you are trying to heal, do not trust the pharmaceutical companies and do not trust the hospitals to heal you. We have all been given the wisdom and also the internal knowledge. Some of us choose to tap in with us. Others choose to rebuke it and forsake it. But you can't deny it that the information is all around us. The wisdom and natural healing is all around us. But you have to take the first step and you have to make a decision whether you're going to trust the pharmaceutical companies or the hospitals or healthcare system, or whether you're going to trust that natural Yah-given wisdom, who is the source that has given us what we need in order to heal and in order to thrive and in order to educate ourselves. And so those are my final jewels for thought. Shout out to Orgain Organic Protein. Shout out to Delta Community Credit Union, Express VPN, and all of the names that you see at the bottom of the screen that have been our sponsors and affiliate partners and even donors for this season. Shout out to Champ Boxers, Everybody Eats ATL, Anti-Caro, Keon, Black Pod Festival, StreamYard, Urban Eden, Get Gains or Get Gone. We appreciate y'all. And if you feel led, you can sow a seed with us by cash apping us at SMART, SMART, JEWELZ. Or you can click the link below in the comment section to become a monthly Patreon with us or to make a one-time donation for our progress. And so let's take a look at some of our updates as we get ready to wind down for season 4, you all, shortly. Let's take a look. So we do offer podcast and creator services for those who are interested in making a podcast or creating a live stream show. You can reach new audiences and select a free 30-minute consultation by going to www.smartjewelsenterprises.org to sign up for a free 30-minute consult with one of our representatives and help allow us to help you make your show a reality and to reach new audiences. So go to smartjewelsenterprises.org. Also, we have new merch that we just launched for season 4, you all. I'm excited for what our team has been doing in order to take our show and our podcast to the next level. And so we do have new merch that we just launched for the Shine collection this season. And so you can also support us by purchasing some of our merchandise and also some of our accessories to the merchandise. And so shout out to Fits for Kings and Queens, who we partnered with for the Create and Shine collection of our tees and also for our accessories. And so definitely go take a look with the link that's in the bio. Also, stay tuned, you all. We are taking our podcast on the road to make it traveling smart travel jewels podcast next season. So I'm excited for what our team is doing. We just came back from El Salvador, and also we are going to Asia later this fall. And then, of course, we got to go back to the source in the motherland, Alkebulan, Africa, later on in next year. And so definitely stay tuned for some of our travel groups. We're going to be starting back up our Smart Travel Club for those creatives and influencers that want to go and learn about different cultures and also get footage and content while meeting content creators, young professionals, and entrepreneurs in different countries all across the globe. And so we are taking this show on the road. And so follow us and subscribe to us and listen to our previous episodes for the Run the Jewelz podcast on any music streaming or podcast streaming platform, whether it's Apple Podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Google, Anchor, Stitcher, you name it. We're on all podcast streaming platforms. And so I'm your host, Julian Smartrimple, King Jewelz here, getting ready to sign off for our episode today. Hopefully you were blessed by Keya, the Alkaline Traveler. Go and think about transitioning your health and wellness, because your later version of yourself will appreciate you and applaud you for taking a leap of faith. And it does take a leap of faith in order to naturally heal yourself. And so those are some final jewels, again, for thinking and for thought. Visit us at www.smartjewelsenterprises.org to get started on your podcast today. We do have a Smart Jewelz network of community podcasters and content creators that we just started up this season. For those who are serious about launching and being in a community of support and also being in a community of content creators, definitely feel free to reach out to www.smartjewelsenterprises.org to be a part of our Smart Jewelz network. And so we'll see you all next episode. Thank you all for tuning in. For those who are on the Wisdom app, we appreciate y'all. Until we meet again, stay hydrated, stay safe, stay blessed, and shine bright like the bright diamond jewel you were created to be, because someone needs to see and feel the light that is within you in order to get out of their darkness or their dark period or season that they may be trapped in. But you have to open your mouth and speak like a king or a queen should. I'll see you all on next episode. Shine bright